to that powder. I would have to have, oh man, I'd have to take like jugs of that shit.
Well, 1 teaspoon is about the same as 2 tablets.
These are just the capsules.
And the tablets usually aren't as good as the powder because the powder is more soluble.
I get
we sound like a bunch of old people talking about crazy.
I get the premium powder, which has no sweeteners, has a little bit of orange flavor to it. It's got stevia as a sweetener, but it's got no artificial anything in it. Hello, Eric. Long time no see.
Hey, how are you, Moss?
You feeling okay? Well, we're worried about it. My teeth aren't here, but I'm okay.
Is it nap time?
All right,
let me go. My teeth aren't either.
I'm gonna get some coffee.
Well, your teeth look like they're there, at least inside your mouth.
The ones you can see.
Mmm.
Yeah. Oh my.
Bang bang air fryer corn. Corn on the cob in the air fryer.
Is that a real air fryer or one of the toaster oven air fryers?
Probably a toaster oven air fryer.
Yeah, we have one of those. Can't believe it's big enough for a store pizza. You can't put a 14-incher in it, but a 12-inch will fit.
That's probably a common thing.
How have you been, Eric? We haven't seen you for a while.
Okay. I had oral surgery and
lovely.
Still recovering from that. It was sorry, I had like 6 teeth taken out, so a bunch of stuff, and still have more to do. And
are they planning on putting anything back in?
Yeah, I have a bridge in the front, on the bottom. All those teeth, the small ones, the incisors in them on the bottom, they're like the smallest, weakest teeth in your mouth, and they were at risk of just breaking. And so there was already one gone, and then the other ones were just gonna go. So took care of those, and then in the back, I did the top ones, and then still have to get a bridge back there, and there's a couple bottom ones I need to do too. So I did get all that done to then do a shoulder surgery, and just trying to get like all that stuff out of the way. And so just been feeling really super tired, just difficult getting around, and my cardiovascular health is pretty poor, so I can't. Excuse me. So I can't go very far. Can't walk fast, anything like that. So just doing what I can when I can, and it's all I can. Just trying to be graceful about being limited in what I can do. I mean, I've been limited in what I can do for a long time, but I've at least been able to get around easily enough. And now I have to be like, I can do 10 minutes of something. What can I do?
Yeah.
So
it's like my teaching. I limit myself to no more than 2 days a week, and I'm usually dead tired after one of those and not good for anything the next day.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten to the point that if they haven't given me a job by 2 a.m., I just take myself off the list. Because there's no way I'm going to get enough sleep between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m.
Right. Yeah, I've had a lot of trouble sleeping lately too. That's I don't know what it is. I just unless I go to sleep really early, which is kind of hard to do unless I'm already exhausted, which I am fortunately often. But yeah, and then I share obviously with my wife, and so when she doesn't come to bed when I do, and so inevitably when she comes to bed I hear her, and so I'm gonna be up when she comes to bed, and then hopefully I can get back to bed. And most times I can, but it's just that it breaks up the sleep, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Just can't quite find my rhythm right now. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
everything's just sort of out of sync somehow.
Well, other than going on trips, I haven't slept in a bed since my accident in April of 2020. So my wife has a whatever they call the extended single, extended twin XL. That's what it is. And we were going to
like
get
a chair or something.
I've got a recliner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Majid.
Yeah, I think if I had a comfortable
Hey, guys.
recliner, I would sleep in that more often.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I love a recliner, man.
Well, I'd
I
rather
have a
be
good one.
sleeping
One
next
of
to
the
my
best
wife,
things
but it's
invented.
what I can do.
We used to have one
Yeah.
when I was living in student digs. We had one recliner chair. It was bust up, and I tell you, we literally had fights over who was going to sit in that chair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
we've got two. We've got two from the same company in North Carolina, and for some reason the power supply on my wife's keeps going out, but we can just buy one on Amazon.
By the way, were we going to get some possible new presenters coming on to the roundtable? Remember we talked about the other thing.
We've been asking. Has anyone
Somebody
offered?
sent me an email about wanting to, join.
Yeah.
And I told them to join the Discord and ping us, and we'd set them up, and then I never heard anything from them again.
I'm waiting to ask Bill how the sound was on the last episode.
Well, you'll be waiting for a little bit longer.
I guess the chair is empty.
That feels like a philosophical thing. The chair is empty.
Staring into the void, yes.
The
Just
void
remember,
stares
you
back.
stare into the void, you scream into the abyss. The abyss is getting full of screaming and doesn't want it.
Alright, where are you? There you are.
I probably messed that up in the middle, but oh well. Yeah, Eric, Joe has seen my teeth. Joe has handled my teeth. Only person in the world I can say that about other than my dentist.
I
that
helped
sounds a bit
deconstruct his
unhealthy.
teeth.
What was that, Majid?
I'm just a bit worried about that, really. I mean, it sounds like it's a euphemism for something.
No,
I
it's
modified
not.
his teeth.
I
I
set him my
rearranged
uppers
his
and he
teeth.
carved them down a bit with his
I
Dremel.
rearranged his teeth with my fist.
No, Joe used
with
the
my
Dremel.
We talked
Fortunately, I wasn't wearing it at the time.
we talked about it a little
Fortunately.
bit last night, but 3D printing's a kind of a big thing in dentistry now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's so
I'm really sure that the dentures I have, whether I like them or not, are 3D printed.
Yeah, so there's a dentist for whom I do sedations in the community, and he is now 3D printing implants and the crowns for implants, and I mean it's quite cool actually. It's he's also got some beefy hardware to do all the scanning and all that sort of stuff. It amazes me how many people are going for it. It's extremely expensive, but lots of people are going for it these days.
No, just the other day
Yeah, but
I had
I
a
mean-
root canal, and right there, right as soon as they were done with the root canal, they took some fresh scans and put it all together. 3D printed me a tooth, took about 45 minutes, a cap, and shoved it in there and glued it in and good to go.
Hey, Bill. Bill? Bill's not plugged in yet.
Oh, William.
William,
Yes,
How was the sound quality last episode?
better.
Did you need my FLAC file?
No.
Okay.
It turned out fine. I'm kind of leaning
So it was
towards
just something weird going on with Joe's machine.
I don't know.
Previous episode.
It felt more like a networking problem. You said you were running a VPN.
Nope.
You weren't?
Nope. I might have been running a VPN on my browser with the script, but that was not on my Discord.
Huh.
Now it might have slowed my machine down some.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it might have been I switched to wired for that show instead of my 5G. And then I made sure that everything possible was shut down except for the things that I was using on the show. I did notice some processor lag, but I minimized it as much as possible. And if I remember right, I hadn't wanted to reformat at that time because I was having problems with this computer, which turns out my fault, but it was caused by Moss.
How?
All roads lead to Marseille.
Yeah.
Well, every time you started accessing that one episode of Farscape that was messed up, my computer would crash. and then you tell me afterwards that you were trying to access that, and it took at least twice for me to figure out that that's what was causing it, and for me to go into the settings on my Plex and tell it to quit using the graphics card. And then after that, things worked fine. But the first time it happened, it actually caused an error in my RAM, which made me remove that stick of RAM. So, not your fault, but it was caused by you.
I caused it, but Plex did it.
Yes. Actually, it might have been the graphics card, so it might be Bill's fault.
That's still
Just spread it around, you know.
That's still a fairly new.
A nice thin bullshit sandwich here.
I forgot I gave you that Fire Pro, didn't I?
Yeah, it works great, but my only issue with it is it won't take what is it? The modern firmware. It's stuck on an old version of firmware.
Are you talking about OpenGL?
Yeah, OpenGL. It's stuck on like OpenGL 1.
There's got to be some reason why that's happening, because it's rated for, the last time I looked, it was rated for supports like version 4.3 or something like that. And that was like a year. When did I give you that? Like 2 years ago?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
But even then, it wouldn't take the new OpenGL, which was why I had to switch back to an older version of Kura.
That's weird.
Matter of fact, I'll see. Maybe they updated something. I will give it another try.
Well, I've already got Bodie Corner in the show notes. I'm on the ball on that one. I wish I could get a little faster response from Stefan so I could put my Bodie Corner together for Full Circle magazine.
I mentioned, I think, in the chat, I might not be there at the next meeting because of the funeral of my colleague.
Yeah.
No, you said you definitely wouldn't be there. There was no Mike.
Yeah, I said definitely, yeah. I wasn't going to be there.
He might definitely might.
And as I responded to you in the show notes, people die, get over it.
I didn't see that, but okay.
Oh. Fucking A.
We're just a bunch of meat puppets, you know?
Horrible.
Oh, my.
Oh, okay. So, do we have a topic, or do you want to come up with one, or?
No, we need one.
All right. Let's break out ChatGPT.
Oh, I've been using ChatGPT for analyzing reports and stuff. It's not bad. It works quite well, actually, to my own surprise. But you do have a limit on the free thing, don't you? You can only ask about 3 or 4 queries a day or something.
I'm using the Twitter thing.
I'll tell you what also isn't bad, to my surprise, is
Game.
Leo, the AI that's built into Brave. That wasn't too bad, actually.
Yeah,
Again, to my
Bill was
surprise.
talking earlier about his great love for Leo.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't think he was talking about the brave Leo. He was talking about the chicken Leo.
What was I doing? You guys got me all screwed up here. Oh, okay.
And we can't hear you again, Bill.
Audio.
Don't know what you
check,
did.
check, 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 check. Audio. How's that?
Well, we're hearing you some now.
The hell?
I mean, it's okay.
I mean, I could crank it way up like that right there, but now I'm redlining everybody
Yeah,
on.
I've got
like
my
shit.
volume. I've got my volume all the way up because Joe said I was too quiet last episode.
Compared to like Majid. I was having
And
trouble
Mine
it
was
is
really
getting-
loud anyway.
It is giving me a red light on the blinker thing here.
I was born loud.
Loud and proud.
Audio. Check, check, check.
Check, 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 check.
He gets the check. So, someone asked, do we have a topic? Someone said, no, we don't. We need one. Any ideas?
I'm trying to get signed into
Alright.
X right now.
I figured it out last time. Somebody else's turn to pull a surprise out of their butt.
Okay, as a general rule, right, if you're burning a distro to a USB, is it better to use ISO or DD? As a general rule.
You use DD to write the ISO.
I either use mintStick or whatever that tool is that we put everything on the one disk. Come on, my brain went
Ventoy.
out. Ventoy, that's it.
I tend to use Ventoy as well now, but I don't use DD very often. I mean, it's too easy to screw it up.
For some reason, the last time I installed Mint, which was on this box here, the only way I could get it was to DD it onto the USB. And because I didn't have, and as I said, for me personally, I never found mintStick never worked for me. So I was using like Rufus or Balana Etcher or anything like that. I'm just interested from a technical standpoint. What's the difference? And why
Well,
would one be better
the
than the other?
difference is it's called Balena Etcher, but that's okay.
Okay.
Belina?
Yeah, Balena or Balena, not Balana.
Not baloney?
Not baloney. Baloney Etcher, yeah. We need to get our initials etched into our stick there.
Balena Etcher is the only one that has never failed me.
I have never gotten it to work.
That's weird.
I have never gotten it to install.
Well, if you're trying to use the app image,
I've used the Raspberry Pi one. The Raspberry Pi Imager, that works pretty well.
yeah, well, that works
At
good
least for
too.
me.
They're all
Well, I
doing
just see-
something similar on the back end. I mean, it's just basically copying all of the file system attributes bit by bit
Yeah.
onto that device. You know,
Well, mintStick has never failed me, and Ventoy has rarely failed me.
I've had both of those fail me, but I do use Ventoy just because it's a real nerdy solution to a lot of things. It's a fantastic
brilliant,
way.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I love it. It's the
Yeah,
idea.
I
of
was
it
using
is
Ventoy before
fantastic.
Jupiter discovered it. All my Hindu friends and everything were going, use Ventoy, use Ventoy. I go, what the fuck is that? Yeah.
Well, we were also talking about Ventoy bypassing some of the TPM requirements for Windows 11.
Yeah, it's one
That's
of the ways
another
of getting
thing it'll
Windows
do.
11 on older stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, my installation of Bodhi on this machine, on the M700 Tiny in my studio, when I boot it up, I get all the errors that it can't communicate with a TPM chip. And it's because I don't have a TPM chip to the best of my knowledge, but I don't know how to make that message go away, so they just ignore it and it works.
So I asked Grok to recommend a topic for a Linux podcast. It said, how about a podcast episode on the future of Linux in AI and machine learning?
Oh man,
That doesn't sound
No.
any fun.
No.
No.
I mean, that sounds like something that you would, if you wanted to kill someone, you'd make them listen to it.
But
what I mean?
we're gonna have the AI create a new distro.
Eric, I think it's Eric's turn to pick a topic.
Well, it's Eric's turn to host. If he can be there.
When is it? Tomorrow or the next week?
Next
Next week.
Yeah, I shouldn't be dead by then. Let's see.
So optimistic here.
Have we talked about upgrading between releases? How people deal with that? That's something
Between
interesting.
Might
releases?
Well, in Arch you
Yeah,
don't.
like, well, that's true for release-based distros. I'm just trying to think of things that have recently happened to me. So my daughter's laptop was running 2304, maybe.
Mm.
I'm
And
I
trying to
wanted to get
convince my
24
son to
for-
move over to Linux, but he won't have any of it.
Well, I told her if she wanted Windows or something, I don't really care. I'm not.
Tell
not
him
gonna
it's
fight.
your house. He'll do what you say. Put Linux on that damn machine, son.
Yeah.
A fantastic
No,
topic
I'm not.
for a Linux podcast could be emerging trends in open source software. What's shaping the
know any?
future? And
Yeah,
it gives
that's
some.
the thing. If we follow that kind of thing, which I don't think any of us do.
What about just I mean, I suppose it's a bit ridiculous of me to suggest something that I'm not going to be talking about, but the whole thing around Wayland and moving away from XOR, is that something that's already been done, or I mean, it does sound
Not
very
by
dry.
us.
Not by us, no.
That's
and,
if you're
and
actually.
Bodhi still
like-
has not even looked at Wayland, so
I've been riding
It's
that
be interesting
train.
for people as to, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't understand what that means and how and why has it taken over 10 years. Because I remember I mean,
20.
easily, you know,
Wayland
it
is not a new program.
Yeah, I know. So I just wonder, would that be interesting? I mean, I can imagine it also being quite dry though, so I don't know. And as I said, I don't really want to be giving suggestions on things I'm not going to be talking about.
Why not X11?
Look, we'll take
Because
suggestions.
it's old.
Man, this thing just wrote me up a whole big old thing.
Ah,
Research suggests open source software trends in 2025 include AI integration, enterprise extension, and heightened security focus. It seems likely that OSS, open source software, I assume, will see increased adoption in AI with tools like LangChain and Hugging Face leading the innovation. Evidence leans towards growing enterprise use in ERP, CRM, and project management, challenging closed source vendors.
the only problem is having to research all those things and make sure it didn't make any of it up.
Yeah. And I don't think it's difficult to say these things without sounding condescending, but I'm not sure that our
Pretentious.
audience.
Yeah, pretentious is a good word for that.
Yeah. Our audience, I picture our audience is like desktop focused and using Linux. Not
Well, I mean,
necessarily.
if you're using Mint, you're already a particular type of user, right?
Yeah.
I did.
loss.
Yeah, I did ask Robert Wiley if there is a alpha or anything out on Bodhi 8, and all there is a script. You can grab any version of Debian, including Trixie, which is not final yet, and run the Bodhi script, and you've got basically Bodhi. And everyone has tried that, says it's working great. But that's not really Bodhi, is it? Just Debian with Moksha on it.
Yeah,
It's like installing Ubuntu and then replacing the desktop with KDE Plasma.
Yeah. Yeah, Robert Wiley is still working on a script to put Moksha on any Ubuntu platform.
No, I have actually done that. Got Ubuntu and then installed the KDE desktop on it.
Well, those are easy, but Moksha is not so easy. EFL is a mess.
Oh, I am instantly reminded why I got rid of X. My God, what a shit show.
It's a cesspool, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I left X a long time ago.
Yeah, I did too. I left it before it was X.
Yeah,
While it was still Twitter.
Yeah.
I left it about a year before it was X.
I did the easy thing and I never joined.
I mean,
Mastodon, baby.
It was a good place. Like I would subscribe to like the news channels and things like that, and you would just get a fire hose of news and things, and it was kind of good for that. And then a lot of the tech people were on there, content creators and that, and it seemed to be widely adopted for that crowd ever since Google Plus went away.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Google.
Well, a lot
Yeah.
of the news services have left it and have it literally moved to Mastodon, which is fun because there's only like 9 million Mastodon users, but they say they get a lot better interaction with their readers on Mastodon.
I think the one that they would really like to move over to, as in organizations and stuff, would be Threads. But the problem is Threads doesn't seem to have real time. The algorithm is still very much, an algorithm looking at what you've been looking at. And the advantage that the news organizations anyway thought about Twitter in its previous incarnations was the fact that you could, as I said, it was a real-time news source. People were tweeting, this is what's happening now, half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago. Do you see what I mean? And that's what was so...
Blue Sky has already been banning accounts for saying things that offend some government or other. Turkey has been the major.
Turkey is an authoritarian country anyway, isn't it? So.
Well, yeah, but Blue Sky bans someone in the U.S. for saying something that upset the Turkish government. That ain't right.
Glass houses, though.
Mastodon.
you guys see that whistleblower for Meta?
No.
He basically said that all that testimony that Zuckerberg gave in 2018 about having no plans to expand into China and letting them have access to American citizens' data and all that was an absolute fabrication, and that by that point he had been 5 years into personally overseeing a project that gave the Chinese government censorship over not only their own citizens but citizens outside of their country. And
that book rose up to number 2 on the bestseller list.
Yeah, she was pretty damning testimony. Interesting how it's not even
get off
news.
here. I gotta quit looking at this. This is making my brain itch. Oh my God! It was nothing but Trump. I'm surprised Trump has time for anything other than X, and Musk too.
And Truth Social.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, did you see Liz Truss is wanting to start her own social media?
Oh God.
The lady who was so far bonkers she couldn't even stay Prime Minister of England for more than 11 days.
What's she into now?
She's starting her own social network just like Truth Social.
So another Mastodon clone.
Whatever they use for Truth Social to clone.
I think it is Activity Pub. So
could be.
I mean, why would you
yeah, I
use anything
can't
else?
believe that she really thinks people will sign up for that. And it's strange that we lost Majid before I talked about this, because he's the one that would impact more among us. He just didn't want to hear me badmouth Liz Truss, I guess. Is anyone joining us on YouTube?
Two
checked.
concurrent viewers.
Are either of them us?
I can't tell that. I wish I could. There is a comment from Cassie Me. When will LMDE be the main Mint distro instead of Ubuntu?
That's a good discussion. It might be. I mean, Bodhi is moving that direction.
I think Mint will continue to hedge its bets with LMDE. LMDE costs Mint nothing to keep development on. But
the answer to that is when most of the Mint users are using LMDE instead of Mint, they will stop doing Mint.
Well, I feel like they might make a decision before it even gets to that point. If Ubuntu if the belief is that Ubuntu, like for example, if Ubuntu went completely Snap, like their main distro was completely Snap based, well, that's us on LMDE, pretty much.
Well, that's why Bodhi is using Chromium these days as their main browser, because Ubuntu has made Firefox only available as a Snap, and so they can't take that and modify it for Bodhi.
That being said, anybody can get the tarball directly from Mozilla.
No, you can get Deb. They package Deb now. You can just add a repository.
Oh yeah, they do have a PPA now, don't they? Or not a PPA, but a
Your
Deb.
video froze, Eric.
Oh, sorry. I installed 2404 on my daughter's computer yesterday, and one of the first things I always do is uninstall all the snaps, including the Snap Store and Firefox. Purge them all. Uninstall Snapd. Like, get rid of all of it, and then put Flatpak. Go out to Firefox. You can get the Mozilla packages Firefox as a Deb file. Set up the repository, get that all set up, and then add the GNOME Software Center and the Flatpak plugin. Flatpak plugin. And
Say that 10 times real fast.
And then Ubuntu is usable.
And you could have just installed Mint and been done with it.
Nah, she likes GNOME.
Oh,
I've let her try all the different ones, and that's the one she likes. The way that Ubuntu has it set up.
I've noticed kids get along with GNOME just fine, because I put Pop! OS on my boys' laptops upstairs a few years ago, and they didn't have a single problem with it. They didn't even need to be taught how to navigate it.
About 10 years ago, Mercedes made a model of car that had nothing but a joystick, no gas pedal, no brake, no nothing, just a joystick. And the advertising was, "Can you drive this? I bet your grandkids can." I bet they didn't sell very many of those models, though.
No, I imagine not.
How many kids can afford a Mercedes?
I guess I better put headphones back on. I imagine people in YouTube are probably getting echo.
I'm not hearing any echo.
I didn't hear an echo.
Yeah, but we don't.
No, but
feed.
you're getting a different audio than everybody else is. Than people listening on YouTube. And there. I just realized I looked at my mic audio on OBS, and it was dancing right next everybody talking on the desktop audio. Oh shit, I didn't think of that. But it's fixed now. All one of our viewers will be happy. Well, I don't know what happened there.
Oh, that I had both hips replaced, and I'm pretty sure I had the infections in my jaw, and they never even asked me. So
I mean, to be
This-
fair, they would have given you antibiotics anyway.
We're back though.
But
Yeah, I
have no idea what happened.
Understand, but I can understand that, you know, if a shoulder was to get infected, that would be a real disaster. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're
it's so
basically
close to. Yeah.
no, not because of, not so much because of the where it could
Proximity.
spread to, but the first thing you'd have to do is take that out, and you know, you could well find yourself really only having use of one arm. Do you know what I mean? And so I can kind of understand why they'd be uber careful about that.
I would have
know.
think that they would have been careful with the hip too, and especially since I'm still considered immunocompromised. So
Yeah.
I think it was just an oversight, and and I think it's the type of thing that doesn't happen. It certainly doesn't happen every time, and it's not even so common that it happens that frequently. But when it does, like you said, it can be very, very disruptive and traumatic to lose the loss of a limb. So,
Oh yeah.
um,
And I think that's probably the reason why that they're being, you know, so careful about the whole thing.
cautious. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, honestly, fortunately, I mean, my right arm is pretty limited in my use, but honestly, like I'm left-handed, so this arm's pretty dead anyway. It just kind of.
I mean, the
It's like
interesting thing is how it's with it's amazing how much function you can have even with, you know, a broken arm. I mean, I have an aunt who had a bad fall, broke her humerus, just a little bit below the shoulder. It's completely off-ended. She refused to have any operation because she's like, I'm not having an operation. I'm already 75 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and it's surprising to me how much function she still has, because I look at that arm and I'm like, this arm should be useless to you now. But she's, she seems to be, she gets on doing her normal stuff. She can eat, feed, and clothe herself. Yeah, she can't drive, but
Muscles beat bones sometimes.
It's just the ability of the human body to, get
Adjust,
through so much.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of the same way, where I can't lift above basically 90 degrees out from my side, and but that most of my life, because I think because I'm tall, is either in front of me or below me, and if it's something that's above me, then I just use my other arm. So I'm not lifting things over my head, that I need two hands. I'm not so active that I really notice it, because I think that's another big part of it. If I had any kind of a physical job or something, like, it would be impossible
How
at
tall
this
are you?
point. But 6'4".
Oh, okay. Wow. That's quite tall.
I wouldn't have guessed it. I only see you sitting down.
That helps.
Very, very true.
Yes.
Very true.
I used to be
Yeah.
about a half inch short of 6 foot, but I seem to have shrunk 2 inches with
Yeah.
my
Everybody shrinks as they get
ankylosing-
older.
Well, I've also got ankylosing spondylitis. It's not just shrinkage; it's also bendage.
Yeah, I think I'm actually closer probably to 6'3" at this point, I would guess. But yeah, I mean, I've just always... Plus, I just have long arms. That's a big part of being tall, is not just how high your head is. It's that your arms are longer, your legs are longer.
Yeah, see, I have the opposite problem because I'm short. I'm what 5'7". So
Gotcha.
I'm not a tall man.
It just means that you're comfortable in more places than I am.
I don't know, man. It was a bit of a...
Hey, how many Indian?
being the shortest of amongst... Okay, so interestingly, I was
How
always the
many
shortest
Indian
of-
basketball stars are there, anyhow? I mean,
Well, here's an interesting statistic. So most of my friends while I was at university were of Pakistani origin, and they were all taller than me. They take the entire piss out of me the entire time. You're so short, you're Indian. You're so short, you're Indian. You're going to find a girl. That's all that kind of crap, right? I go to India to visit relatives, and I'm clearly the tallest person there. Do you know what I mean? And to the extent that when I got married, because I got married in India, my father-in-law wasn't sure the bed was big enough or tall enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, it was.
Yeah.
But the fact that they even thought that, do you know what I mean? Made me kind of think, okay, do you know what I mean? It's obviously genetics. Do you know what I mean?
It surprises me because when I was young, I felt like I was the tallest person I knew. I mean, there were a couple other guys in school who were about my same height, and there was one guy who was like 6'7", so he was obviously taller than me. But like, as I got out in the world and went to school, and as time has gone on as well, like, I routinely see kids that have got to be pushing 6'10". I mean, and it's not... And for me to look up like that at someone feels so unnatural. It's like, my God, how tall are you?
hey, if you were in the NBA, you'd be a point guard.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest. I've not met kids that tall around here, but 6'5", 6'6", I've seen.
It's impressive to see. The other thing though, when you're 6'4" or above 6 feet, it's not common to even be eye to eye with that many people. So even when you see other people that are, and especially women, like I've had one girlfriend in my life that was close to 6 foot, and it was just disarming to be like very close to face. I'm so used to, I mean, my wife's 5'2", I think. So, I mean, I'm just used to being, 5'4", so I'm a foot taller than she is.
Wow.
And I mean, that's just, that was most of my life.
Players running around with 5 foot women, and I guess it's just a power thing.
No, it's just that's there's a lot of women that are just small. I mean, it just is what it is. So
Yeah. I mean, my daughter is the tallest girl amongst us now. She's taller than her mom. She's taller than my mom. She's taller than my sister. She's only 12. She's only probably about 5'4". Do you know what I mean? But it is true, as the generations go, kids are taller. So my eldest is taller than me. He's what? Must be about 5'8". You know, maybe even more actually. So I think there is something about nutrition and maybe some of the chemicals that are in modern food to an extent as well. And people are a bit healthier as well. Do you know what I mean? So I remember my eldest is 20. At his age, I was a fat guy eating lots of kebabs and all that sort of stuff. He goes to the gym 3 times a week and is benching and all that sort of stuff. Which is a lot healthier lifestyle. So I'm sure that's going to have an effect.
No. Just remember, tomorrow is the day that Jesus gets high.
Technically, he comes down, but okay, fine. He went high. He
Doesn't
got high
everybody
yesterday.
that gets high come down eventually? Just saying.
Well, all I'm saying is I'm not the first person to mention that Easter is on 420 this year.
Okay, I didn't get that reference.
420 Earth Day.
420 originally showed up that there was a movie Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke, and every time they showed a clock, it was 420.
Okay.
And that caught on as a national, at least, phenomenon. It must be 420 somewhere.
I wondered if that was like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy joke about, the answer to everything is 42.
Well, except it came probably at least a decade before that.
Okay.
Let me see here.
So, having been basically manipulated by Leo to do that install of Ubuntu on my Snapdragon laptop, I'm reminded again as to why the hell Windows is just so buggy. For some reason, it doesn't want to format the USB drive. I put it in my Linux Mint box, it formats it straight away. I have no idea why. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's like there's gremlins in that software. I need to think of a killer reason to convince my son that I should put Linux Mint on his laptop.
Okay, Up in Smoke was a 1978 movie. The original radio sitcom broadcast of Hitchhiker's Guide was 78 to 1980, and then it got adapted into other formats. But yeah, 42 wasn't popular until after the movie was out.
In fact, I was listening to Paranoid Android the other day by Radiohead, and it's got a line from Marvin the Paranoid Android from Hitchhikers in it. It's a bit, you can't hear it very well, but it's a sample.
Don't talk to me about life. I always see Marvin as a mechanical Eeyore.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's profoundly depressed, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't be in that scenario? Do you know what I mean? I think that's the tragedy of the whole thing.
I have a brain the size of a galaxy, and you're asking me to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, guys, I have a hungry wife, and I have not had breakfast yet, so we are going to go drive off to Lisa's and get some food.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, then.
sounds good.
See you later.
Let me know when we have a topic.
All right.
All right. I think I'm
All
gonna
right,
take off too.
Good seeing y'all.
See ya.
I wonder where Londoner is.
South Africa.
Joe, should we just use this? Because we're both on it.
Sure.
And then
Jackie's doing her makeup.
Can we put Craig on this? We
Sure.
should, obviously. We've done it before. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not hard.
No, it's
Go
not.
learn Craig real quick.
You've got two commands, /join and /stop. That's it.
You don't even need the /stop.
Hold on.
Not really. You can hit a button.
Where do I put that said command, though?
You go into right where it says mintCast public. There's a little bubble, open chat.
Yeah.
And that'll open the chat, and that's where you type it.
Okay, cool. /join, then.
Oh, are you doing it now? Or are you just playing with it?
Well, I'm just playing with it at the minute. So what? It's going to be /join. Yeah, here we go. Start recording in channel. Enter.
Now recording.
Excellent. Stop recording. Got you. So the only thing I need to figure out is how to get the OBS working again. Paste the stream key into your software. Okay. Where's my stream key? Where do I put that? Okay.
So you are, in fact, going to live stream?
I'm gonna try. I'm not sure I'm gonna be. I'm not sure I figured out how to, but because I've completely forgotten how you did it on OBS.
Well, you capture the window.
Yeah.
What I do for like mintCast is I will maximize the window and then I'll capture that whole window. So that's one input, and then all of the audio from that will come over like your desktop audio, and then your microphone will be a separate audio stream. So it's kind of important to pay attention to the meters going back and forth.
Oh, you lost me at pay attention.
To try to make sure you're not overpowering everybody else or they're not overpowering you, because it'll make it sound like shit.
Why is it coming up blank though when I put window capture?
You got to pick the right window. There's a drop down list of the of all the windows you've got open, and it'll be the one that says mintCast public.
Ah, yes. Why is it black? Oh, now we got it going. Brilliant. So I can start streaming, but where was it that you put that the YouTube stream key in?
So go to settings.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Hang on. What did I do?
Jojo, can you run in and grab the cable that is normally connected to my other microphone? Did you fix my microphone again after you took it apart again?
YouTube, okay, I've got that. RTPM, yeah, I've got that.
So you go into settings, go to stream, and then you'll have primary YouTube ingest server under server. Use stream key. That's the advanced key.
Yeah, got you.
And then that's where you put in. That's where you put in the key. You just copy and paste it from the YouTube Studio page, because you got to schedule the stream first.
Yeah. Okay, so if I go back on here, okay, so now I want to.
You want me to go ahead and stop this stream then? Since we're not.
Yeah, you can stop. Yeah, you can stop the stream, and I'll do my bit.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Figure out. Yeah, thanks, man. Okay, so.